Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here with you once again. Been laid up for the past 2 weeks or so with a rather nasty bout of the flu or COVID or something like that, but I'm finally feeling a little bit better and ready to get back at it here with yet another tutorial in my Walk Through the Years series of lessons. We started the whole ball rolling in 1960 and we're now up to 1971, and with it one of the greatest opening guitar riffs of all time with Stay With Me, Ronnie Wood and Faces. Going to show you how to play that killer guitar riff, and then we'll dig into the rest of the track, including most of the slide work as well. That's it. Let's close in and get started, shall we? All right then, Stay With Me, Ronnie Wood and Faces from 1971. We are in open E tuning for this one, so if you've ever tried to figure this one out on your own in standard tuning and had a hard go of it, that is why. You need to be in open E tuning for this one. So you need to take your standard tune guitar, leave your low E string alone. A string needs to go up a full step to B. D string needs to go up a full step to E. G needs to go up a half step to G sharp. And your B and high E are standard. Open E tuning. When you strum all 6 strings, you're basically getting an E major chord. Right? So then, the tone to this one is very, very fuzzy. It sounds like a fuzz pedal, but I don't think it is. I don't think Ronnie Wood used any pedals on this. I think he just used like a small amp, cranked to the point that it sounds like it's about to explode. Plus, he also had like built-in circuitry, like treble boosters and whatnot in his guitar, just adding to that, right? So creating that amazing tone that he has on this one. But fuzz works, you know, it's a very fuzzy tone, even though, like I said, I don't think he used a fuzz pedal. And just a great classic opening riff, this. Opening riff to this one. The very first time you play through this opening riff, it kick-started with this little lick, right? That right there. So we're holding bar here on the 12s, A, D, and G string with our index. We're going to hammer onto 14 of the A string and then catch a little double stop on the 12s of the D and the G. Kind of like that, right? Then you're going to take your index, jump it up to the 12th fret of the low E string with a quick little down up of just that single note. And then we drop into the riff. So we're in E, we're going to be holding this E major bar chord here on the 12s, the same way we started, right? But we're going to start with an E sus add 9. So we're going to drop our ring finger here on 14 of the D string, middle finger down here on 13 of the G. We're going to strike that 3 times, off to the bar twice, back into the sus chord, and back off again. Kind of like that, right? So that is the opening of the riff in E. Then we're going to back it up to D. So we're going to take that bar on the 12, back it up to 10, and play this. So we're going to strike this bar about 5 times. Down, up, down, up, down. And then we're going to drop into that sus chord again, now in D. So it's a D sus add 9. So we're going to drop onto 12 of the D, 11 of the G, strike that twice, off to the bar twice, back into the sus chord, and back off to the bar. Kind of like that. And the last couple of them are very choppy, right? Right, and then we're going to take that bar and we're going to move it off to A. So we're going to back up to the 5th fret and finish the riff with this. So we're going to strike this bar here, and then we're going to drop into the sus again, this time in A. So we're going to drop on the 7 of the D string, 6 of the G, and we're just going to go on, off, 3 times. kind of like that, right? And then you're finishing on that bar. You're going to hit that bar again, hammer onto 7 of the D string, and then catch a little double stop on the 5s of the D and the G and choke it off. Kind of like that, right? And then we finish the riff with this. So again, we're just going from that bar into that sus chord 4 more times. The final 2 times, very choppy, very staccato. Just choking them off, right? And then you're going to take that bar, slide it back into 12, and start the riff again. We don't have that little intro this time, that right there. So we're just going to slide right back into that 12 and strum it about 5 times, right? After repeating that whole riff progression 3 times, you just drop off to the bar on the 5s, let it ring, and then we drop into the verse riff. Loose kind of a blues progression, right? We're going to get to that, but first we have a little slide solo. There's all kinds of slide solos going on throughout this track. 3 predominant slide solos, and then there's all kinds of supplemental slide work going on here and there. We're going to cover the 3 main slide solos here. One going on over the opening riff goes a little something like this. Right there. So we're sliding into the 12s, D and G string, right? And then we're going to go B, G, B, G on the 12s, and then slide out of it. Slide into the 10s and do the same thing. Just now on the 10s, right? B, G, B, G, slide out of it back to 3, slide it into 5. That, right? And then back off to 3, back into 5 again. And then this little lick. Just sliding 3 into 5 of the D, riding down the D, G, and B, and back up again. Right? And then back into the 12s. And then playing a little lick like that. Just 10 into 12 of the B, catching the 12 of the high E twice. Kind of like that, right? Into the 10s, and now do the same thing in this position. Back to the 3s, back into the 5s, right? So that's the opening guitar solo, slide solo. And then we drop into the verse riff, like I said. So we're holding a bar here. We're going to go from A to B to D, basically. Single finger bar chords here with our index, right? We're just going to bounce off the 7. Initially, and this is also what we're going to play during the chorus, we're going to embellish this, right? We're going to go 7, 8, 7, and then back to the bar. But the very first time, we're just going to bounce off that 7 twice before moving into B. And when we move into B, then we're going to start embellishing, right? Right, that's the initial one, just bouncing off that 7 from that bar on the 5s. And then we're going to start embellishing by going 9, 10, 9, back off to the bar, right? Then you're going to move it into D at the 10th fret and then just bounce off the 12. I don't think he's going up to the 13 with his pinky, just bouncing off that 12 twice, right? So the very first time the guitars come in for the verse riff, you're going to go in A, just kind of like that. And then we're going to pick up the tempo ever so slightly when we move it into B, right? Up to D, and then back to A. Right, and you're going to repeat it twice in A, going 7, 8, 7 off to the bar. Before repeating, grab that 8 of the low E, little downwards tug, right? It's all very loose, right? And then you're going to move it back into B, D, back to A. And at this point, the vocals come in, and we're going to drop all these little secondary notes out of the equation and just bounce off the, in A, in this case, off the 7. When we move into B, we're just going to bounce off the 9. And at this point, there's a little break between the first verse and the second verse with another slide solo. Right, that is that slide solo there. So we're going from 4 to 5 on the G string and then catching the 5 of the B, kind of like that, right? And then you're going to repeat that 5 times. Every second time, you're going to go down to the 5 of the high E, kind of like that, right? Finishing on the 5 of the B. And you're going to move it up 2 spots, do the exact same thing. Now slide from 6 into 7. Every second time, go into the high E. Then you're going to go into the 10s. Little back and forth like 5 or 6 times, right between the G and the B. And then you're going to back it up to 8 of the G, slide it into 10, back down to the 10 of the B, back up to the 10 of the G. Back to the 3s of the 2 middle strings, back into 5 again, right? And then to finish, we finish with that. So we're going to slide right into the 17s of the G and the B, little back and forth a couple of times, right? Take that 17 of the G, back to 15, and then finish on the 17 of the D string, right? So from the beginning of that solo. Right into another verse. Right, repeated twice, and then we're just going to continue playing that for the chorus and add all those pinky embellishments. And that leads into yet another slide solo. This is the final slide solo, probably the main solo, I guess, and this one goes a little something like this. Something like that. So it starts the exact same way as the previous solo, but an octave higher. So we're sliding 16 into 17 of the G, and then catching the 17 of the B, and every second time the 17 of the high E. Kind of like that, right? And then you move it up 2 spots. Right? And then we're going to go into the 22s of the G and the B, a little back and forth. And then you're going to back it up to the 20, back into 22 of the G, down to the 22 of the B, and back up to the 22 of the G. Back it up to 15s of the D and G, slide it into 17. And then finish with something like that, just back and forth on the 17s, off to 15 and finish on the 17 of the D string. And then we're going to move back down the neck, but let's take it from the top here. Right, now we're going to go back to this again, but I don't think he's going down to the high E string this time. So he's playing the same thing he was playing earlier where he was alternating the B and the high E. This time just going to the B every time, and then we're going to move it up again, right? Right, into this. Same thing we did earlier, right? Taking that 8 into 10 of the G, and a little back and forth. Right back to 8, slide into 10. Back to the 10 of the B, up to the 10 of the G. Off to 3 into 5, right? And that is that solo. So that whole solo from the top. Right into another verse. Right, which leads into another chorus, and then we drop back into the main riff again. You're going to repeat that twice, and then we're going to keep going, but we're going to stop. We're going to have little stop starts with little fill lines, guitar fills, piano fills, drum fills, and whatnot. So coming out of this, the third time, right? We're going to stop right there and add this fill. So we're just doing double stops up to 3s and 5s, starting on the 5s of the G and the B, triple hits, off to 3, and then up to the D and G string, same thing, off to the 3s, and then same thing on the A, D, off to the 3s, right? Right back into the riff again. Next fill is this. So we're just sliding into the 17s, D, G, and B string. Just going to downstroke that like 4 or 5 times and then drop onto the 18 of the G, hit that a few more times, and then off to the bar again. Slide out of it and repeat. Right back into the riff. Right, and then there's like a piano fill, back into the riff. And then I think there's like a drum fill, back into the riff for 2 more repeats. Final time. We just finished with that. Just chromatic bar chords, single finger bar chords here. 8, 7, 6, 5. A, D, G string basically, right? Just repeat that twice. Finish on that A chord there. And there you go. That is how you play Stay With Me, Ronnie Wood and Faces from 1971. Certainly hope you enjoyed that, found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button right down there. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that would be very kind and helpful to my channel. Hope you're well out there in your little guitar corner of the world, wherever that may find you, and we will see you next time. Cheers.